You're a piece of shit, Papoose. You really are. You have turned into a piece of shit. The gambling, the failures that you've had in your career or whatever that didn't pan out how you wanted to, has turned you into somebody else.
You're very cruel to people because you're a narcissist. She's the type of person who will say something to you, and 10 to 5 minutes later, she'll say, I didn't say that. Straight bipolar. Was diagnosed with it. You're not Cardi B, man. Let's keep it a buck. This is how phony you is.
Welcome to a brand new viral drama where Hollywood's instability is exposed and the ugliest secrets come to light. In one of the messiest public outbursts we've ever witnessed, Papoose and Remy Ma have completely destroyed the idea of black love. Aspirations they're not just fighting, they're pursuing. Blood on the internet.
You said earlier there's some things Pap need to handle? I don't know.
In his personal life.
Oh,
yeah, it's still in the
okay.
room. Like, but that takes time. And like I said, that's not my place to speak on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any ill will toward any women. And I don't have any ill will toward her.
Nobody shouldn't have any ill will towards me because I ain't do nothing to nobody. I look at it now and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her. I've told Papoose. I told them, why don't you tell this stuff? Why don't you tell your current come up? So that's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. You are a world champion. You are accomplished. You have made it from out the ghetto, from the slums, from the depths of Flint, Michigan. You don't got no kids. You have your whole life ahead of you. But why are you attaching yourself to this 47-year-old man that doesn't have anything going, has no career, no job, no income, except for the income that he's claiming off of your percentage because he's your manager? Got you out here talking, looking crazy. He's the one that don't want to sign, don't want to get his stuff out his ex house. Doesn't be there for his child that he begged for, but telling you he wants another one. Let me guess. He's telling you he want a son, right? He has a son. He has a son. He just doesn't like his son's preference, so he acts like he doesn't have a son. He has a son. We have a son. What are we talking about? I literally told my friend, they was like, yo, you think he ever gonna leave? I was like, when he finds a replacement, when he finds someone who we think he can have doing all the shit that I was doing, then he'll leave. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay. I don't even know who he is today. Let me rephrase that. Because the person that I married in 2008, that's not who this is now. Now he's a wife.
Remy initially called Papoose Dusty and said that he had written her name for influence. However, Papoose immediately retaliated, calling Remy a blatant manipulator and claiming that she was incapable of remaining faithful. For example, YR. We even watching a boxing event or a marriage. Speaking about boxing, Clarissa protects the unbeaten winner. No children, no mess. Clarissa may look calm, but she is wading straight into the fire by talking to Papoose while he is still legally bound to. Remy and caught up in this emotional train disaster. Remy, on the other hand, has been really troubled by her attempts to appear unconcerned while side-shading and sub-posting.
Because guess what? I'm such a real one. I know the procedure when somebody goes to prison. I know the procedure. So it was never about infidelity. When I came home and I went straight through that phone immediately. I know what was up. When I had to fight baby mothers at mother-in-law's houses on Thanksgiving, I knew that girl wasn't lying about what she was saying was going on while I was saying. I knew she wasn't lying. I just was mad. I knew she wasn't lying, though. If we keeping it a bean, I knew she wasn't.
Stop, girl. Let's be honest. The brakes need to be pumped by Clarissa. The entire situation wasn't unexpected. It became clear immediately following her interview at the Breakfast Club. She was questioned about her relationship with Papoose and performed it really courteously. That obviously touched a chord somewhere, yet there was no drama, only smiles. You see, Remy and Clarissa had already smoked last year. Remy believed that Clarissa's camp had published a dubious story and went online to disparage her and Papoose. But Clarissa maintained her composure. Even though she didn't criticize anybody during the interview, the tension is now rising. Should she have spoken out instead? Clarissa may not have said much, but it certainly wasn't worthy of Remy's level of disrespect. 10 meltdowns, Remy still fired several rounds, so Clarissa might want to review them again and make comments. Just saying. But Clarissa isn't giving up for anybody. She's giving Papoose her all, and she didn't waste any time in calling Remy out for blatantly lying about Papoose being her manager. Clarissa clarified Mark. It is not Ree's ex. It is my actual manager.
She had a friend that she was away with. She had a certain individual who she was locked up with. I always heard this person's name. I ain't think nothing of it. We had like a little dinner in the basement or whatever at the crib. So this is the first time I seen homegirl outside of when they was in the penitentiary together. So I see her at the crib. Okay, she stayed for a couple days. She spent the night. She tells me, I'm going to sleep in the guest room with such and such. I said, okay, that's cool. I sleep in the room by myself. Next day, same thing. I said, damn, babe, you sleeping in there again? And at this time, I'm trying to be intimate with her. When it's time to go down, she slipped out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. After she do that, she go back to sleep in the room with homegirl this particular night. But you want to know why she started having so much animosity towards me? Because I ended up finding out the truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing, but I'm saying this because she has done a lot of bashing towards people who live that lifestyle and talk so bad about them and say so many foul things about them that it hurted her so bad that I knew the truth. So on another day, I caught her with this individual in our house while my daughter was on the bed with them. Ended up catching it. Now, this individual is a female. So I can't do nothing to her. I don't put my hands on females. But I told her to get out. Because I feel very disrespected that took place in my house while my daughter was right there on the bed.
She also mentioned that she doesn't mess around with her money at all. Even offered Papoose accolades, claiming that he was the one who helped her get genuine bags and open up major doors for her. Claimed that he is not a bum and that he has his own whip in place. He is reliable in what she says. Thus, for Clarissa, even if things are looking really good, Remy is criticizing it by asking, if it's so perfect, why hasn't he lawyered up and left me already? Turns out that he waited until Remy publicly exposed him before even filing for divorce. It's like, what's actually happening? The energy is now warped. And to be honest, Clarissa needs to go quickly.
That's another thing I don't like. Oh, she was held down while she was in jail. I was who I was when I went to prison. My royalty check still came in. I gave power of attorney so that they could write checks and go on my account and do this. I was buying Christmas gifts, not just for my son, for 3 other children that I was still getting to know. Paying rent in a house that I paid rent in at least 3 different apartments that I never seen a day in my life. You know what I came home to? I was paying rent from jail. When we was on them visits and nobody had no money, we was both on the visiting floor cold together. I did stupid shit like, hey, look at my new truck. It's a push gift. I bought that. So I did do some shit to put the sauce on it. But that's what you're supposed to do when you love somebody and you're in a relationship. You make them see like they're bigger than what they are. You understand? The people I love in hip hop, one executive in particular who I heard was doing this behind the scenes. How you want to be talking crazy like, I ain't see me taking 15, 20, 25,000 off of my fee to put it on his fee. Why would I want my kid father to be messed up? If I got the bag or I'm in position, I'm gonna make sure, like, that's what I do. But that's what he preys on.
Because this is more than just a disaster, it's risky. Deep scars and unresolved hurt were the results of Remy and Papoose' unfinished business. Additionally, the most recent internet conflict was insane. Too crazy. We shouldn't pretend that. This is some brand new disaster. For a minute, Remy and Papoose have been dragging one another through the mud on social media. When rumors circulated that Remy was skulking around with that battle rapper Eazy the Block Captain, yep, him, everybody went bananas. And guess what? Eazy got signed under her wild rights, and Remy runs an entire combat rap league.
First and foremost, I have a cash business. So there's numerous times where I cashed you out and you went and bought things. With my money. With my money. You want to talk about property? We bought this house together. We bought it together. I wrote one of your biggest records, man. One of your biggest hits. So you want to downplay me as an artist when I wrote one of your biggest hits. That's so sad. All of this money talk and all of this and what I don't got and what I got. Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth. I never asked for a penny. I never asked for credit. She's my wife. I didn't want anything from her. I just wanted to see her win. Look at the comments. They know what I wrote. I wrote tons of her music. 90% of her music, I wrote it since I've been around her. The only reason why I'm mentioning that is because you fabricated. You fabricated and you talked about my children. And I saved her life one time in music too. She was in a crisis. Papoose pen to the rescue. Anyway, so I'm writing the music. She needed somebody to book shows. I'm doing the contracts, booking the shows, setting the shows up. I'm coming to the show, I'm collecting the first end, I'm collecting the back end. Word is born, I don't take one penny, y'all.
This man ain't right 90% of anything. Like, I wish he paid 90% of the... Probably wouldn't be here, but that's neither here nor there.
The next thing you know, E is out here babbling that he was having an affair with Papoose' wife. Papoose took a direct jab to the belly, not to mention that she was restrained by this man while incarcerated for reportedly applauding at her own closest friend over money. She worked for 6 years. Papoose married her while she was incarcerated, put a pause on his career, and supported her in every way, then fighting the system to keep her head up. Now, he says, I gave you everything and you gave me this. When Remy went out with Eazy, people couldn't believe it. But the plot thickens because Remy flipped the script and brought receipts. She demonstrated that shortly after she was released. From prison, Papoose continued to text one of his baby moms, proving that he wasn't innocent either. But here's the worst part. Even after all the treachery and chaos, Remy remained and made an effort to keep things going. This bit right here is a complete stunner. Papoose revealed that Remy had cheated on him with a different lady.
When he realized that a regular nigga that can rap, but just not the way we do it. By the way, he makes $50,000 per battle, has about 5-6 battles a year, so he makes at least $250,000 a year. You understand? Great credit score. I never seen a person with a credit score like this in my life. Like the richest people that I've been around. But anyway, unlike some people who beg me to add their name to one of my properties and I have to lean on it because they don't pay their taxes. You was devastated that a regular nigga that used to work for sanitation, got a pension plan, got a 401k, that happens to rap, was able to overcome your manipulation, was able to treat me nice. Not just because the camera's on, not just because people are watching, but because he genuinely felt like that. Not because I was paying his bills, not because I was taking care of his kids. And none of that. None of that. And then after I created my Battle League Chrome 23, I hope to make another Battle League that's popping. He signed himself to, he literally that day signed himself to Slitcherverse Records. and dropped a single the same day.
Furthermore, it didn't occur at random. Not only is it dirty, but he now says she did it in their house while their kid was there. It's quite insulting, but here's the catch. Papoose remained instead of leaving. That's right there. And why Remy? Came out claiming that he had nowhere else to go and that he had no genuine option but to stay since she was covering all of his bills. To put it simply, she added, I kept the lights on and the roof over his head. There was no cot, no setup, nothing. Furthermore, Pap wasn't going to overlook it. He returned with a bang and said that he was the author of her poems in addition to being the man in the home. He claimed to have ghostwritten 90% of her songs, including her biggest successes like Conceited, for which he never received credit. No name, no fame, and not a single written check.
You refuse to tell people, hey, me and Rem haven't even slept in the same bed since May 2022. You don't want to tell nobody that. You were so wrapped up in the whole black love thing. That was your thing. That was the only thing you had. Because the original plan was like, you know what? You do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. We said we was going to raise our daughter a certain way, you know, and we gonna figure out how to live in the same house and whatever. But then, motherfuckers felt like they could control what I do, but do whatever they want to do. When niggas tried to do, when it came to my event and make a scene, if y'all really look back, this didn't come from me.
You such a liar. There was no agreement. When I found out you was with the lame, you denied it. You just basically said, yo, why would I be with him? Why do you think I would be with him? And then you wanted to go to therapy. So check it out, man. Check it out. So when we go to therapy, me and her both said we want to work it out. I never wanted to leave from under the roof of my baby. That's why I stayed around for this nonsense. And the therapist told her, Remy, since you're saying that it's only business with this dude moving forward, but y'all have a last event coming up, after this event, you're going to cut all ties with this individual. Long story short, she kept cheating with the lane. Okay, move forward from that. Another event is coming up later on down the line. I found out the lane was dead. I said, she gotta be kidding me, man. I done told you, and you bring them to the event. I've caught her cheating numerous times since she's been home. She's staying out on days my daughter got to go to school. My daughter's calling, she's not answering the phone. I'm calling, she's not answering when she's with this lame. Then she's with this lame for days at a time. It's like crackhead behavior. I'm like, yo, something is wrong. Are they using drugs or something? Like, what's going on with her and this lame?
Now he's in the background, like those bars of mine, while he watches her show off her achievements. And to be honest, I also think he's real. His timing and movement make too much sense. To be honest, I'm rather certain Shether was also written by Papoose, and Nicki Minaj even alluded to it in No Frauds. But let's not act like Pap is simply furious about the music. Nah, this goes a lot deeper. He's heartbroken. Point blank, you can sense it. He's one of those guys who has to save someone. He prefers women who have had hardship and have never felt safe or loved, and he acts like a hero when he offers them love. They show him love by folding, spoiling him, covering the expenses, and riding hard. That arrangement works for him. That's how he makes it through. But eventually, Remy changed her mind and didn't want to play that part anymore. She now has a tight relationship with Eazy, the Block Captain, and Pap seems to be subtly implying that she is also holding him down, as if history were being repeated.
Through this entire ordeal of her cheating with this lame, I started to notice that he had something on her, and I felt like he was blackmailing her. I'm gonna play the recording right now. This is the lame.
Yeah, look, so far she's saying she fuck with me, I believe her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with that. But you're right though. Anything can happen. So that shit gonna be 3 months, man. I don't know for how long it is. I got pictures, the texts, the videos of her. That shit's gonna blow whatever I say is gonna go. I'm talking about what I'm saying, that news of cheating and all of that shit go anytime. It don't matter if it's a week or whatever. Like, the only reason why it's sparking is because you just corny shit.
You just heard this lame, who she was dealing with since 2022, say in his own voice, I got videos and pictures of us. That's going to go whenever I say so. One of the reasons why she's so angry at me is because she says, all of this is my fault. Y'all ready for this? Because I knocked him out. She said if I would have never knocked him out, she would have been stopped talking to him. She said the fact that I knocked him out, she had to keep talking to him because she didn't want him to expose things. But I want y'all to hear this. Listen to this.
She would have been over. He would have been over. You put me in a predicament, so I had to still kind of be cool with it to make sure you don't go all the way back and I'm not getting dragged on both sides by Team Papoose and
Team. That's your name, babe, bro.
I didn't give a fucking care.
That is not true.
Talking to this nigga.
I would have been stopped talking with this nigga. So she's mad at me because I knocked him out. So she's telling me that I knocked him out. I put her in a position where she still had to be cool with him. But she tell y'all on live, oh, he's this. Oh, yeah. A man that treat me right. A man that did this and did that. You just said the other day you don't even deal with this lame no more. I just played her saying that she would have been done with him if I would have knocked him out. Guess what, y'all? He's still going to deal with her because he's a bum. The league is hers. It's not his. She threatens him anytime he get mad. Oh, I'm taking it down. You sleeping with this girl, take it up. I got all of that document.
Nevertheless, Remy was eager to stand up for her lover, particularly when some began disparaging Eazy's finances and credit. She shut it down quickly, and to be honest, I think Remy is right on this one. It looks like Eazy nailed Pap in the exact spot where it hurts. The ego that Pap observes they used to be the model for black love, but now everything is in disarray. Remy clarified that she and Pap were already leading different lifestyles and meeting other people. Eazy is the guy who destroyed not just his marriage, but their whole reputation. Tay that trust has long since vanished. Remy clapped back as though he had done the same when Pap said she had cheated. It's all smoke and mirrors, dude. Not Papoose out here betraying the lady he called his queen the entire time. Without a doubt, they were both pretending to be in a romantic relationship for the public. They insisted on being together for their kid, and I think that was part of it, but it was already over behind the scenes. According to Pap, he and Remy had agreed to work towards mending their marriage. But when she went on with Eazy, it really hurt Pap, who was left wondering whether they still had a chance. And to be honest, Remy may have stayed if he had helped out more with the money, but this is where things truly go wrong. If Remy hadn't fled with Eazy, Papoose said he would have stayed. Things became really murky when he even said that Eazy was forcing Remy to stay with him. In a selfish move, Pat recorded voice messages to reveal the truth that Eazy was attempting to control Remy behind closed doors and to fuel the flames. Tasha K added more teasing, claiming that Eazy, the Block Captain, was supposedly diming another lady while he was with Remy. This apparently happened back in November, so it's not a recent occurrence. However, if it is accurate, Eazy also appears to be a blatant cheater.
I'm with my daughter all the time. I don't just pick her up once a month, if that, and then run to social media and post it to make it seem like I'm the parent of the year. I've seen my daughter more than 3 times this year. He has a son. He acts like he doesn't have a son. He has a son. We have a son who is very much alive and well and probably feels slighted sometimes.
It hurts me that I gotta even say this about you, that I gotta even come on this live and do this. But the fact that you tried to mention my children, the fact that you had the audacity to come on here and say, I haven't seen my daughter, when you didn't allow me to see my daughter. You had the audacity to send me a text and tell me not to come to my child's party. Why did you do that? Because I moved on and I wasn't sitting in the house watching my daughter while you run around with this lame, come home to me and say you wasn't with him. You sit here and you want to mention my son. Okay. First and foremost, I love all my kids the same. Anybody who knows me knows that. She tried to go out here and exploit my son. And somebody told me, she said, oh, I'm going to, if he keep talking, I'm going to go on live with his son or whatever. What? You are the one who have malicious things to say about other people's kids. And I don't even want to bring my stepson in it because I know his situation is very serious and I love him. And I love my son the same. I love both of them. But I love my stepson like he my real son because I raised him. Even right now, the situation that he's in, I went to visit him. You didn't even visit him. You waited till I visit him, then you went to visit him. But I love my son, I love my stepson, I love all my kids, I love my daughters, all the same. Like I said, as your kids get older, sometimes y'all have differences because as a parent, certain things you want for them, certain things they want for themselves. But that doesn't change the love. Love all my kids the same. You want to talk about, you want to pretend like you got any type of love for my son? You don't got no love for nobody in my family. You never showed no love for, you had animosity and hatred towards everybody, especially other women. You are a very unhappy individual.
She won't let me see my daughter. She won't let me see my daughter. I ain't never been to keep a man away from his kid. Are you talking about the times when you wanted to take her over to your mother's house? And I told you, don't be having my daughter around. One of your adopted sisters, knowingly, y'all all know about it over there, touching on kids. And that's why she ain't never been over there. That's why she don't know them. And you agreed with it when we were together. Hence why my daughter ain't never really go over there like that. By the way, my stepson called me. Want me to put him on my live? I'll put him on my live and let him go. I'll let him go. Mr. Great Dad, Mr. Great Husband. I will add him to my live and let him go on you. He told me thank you. I felt bad after because I didn't even realize that. Like, oh, I could have just possibly put him in and said thank you. Thank you, Remy. Weirdo.
But you came on here and you mentioned my kids. Then you went back on there and tried to act like you exploited my son like it's something I'm ashamed of. So when she called me the other day, tried to get back with me yesterday, and I declined because she was so mad about Clarissa, so angry because I finally moved on. She see us living.
And Pap is engaging in his own self-centered behavior. His whole relationship with Clarissa Shields seemed to be more of a ploy than a genuine bond. They seem to be trying to irritate one another with these new connections. This is war, not love. And Clarissa's girl runs. There was more drama in these two than in a daytime soap opera. They have been continuously posting shots online. Remy claps back as Papoose makes fun of her new partner, saying, "You pawn my jewelry for rent money." The claims that are being made are just outrageous. However, as they included relatives in the dispute, things truly took a turn for the worse. The focus shifted from the marriage to public perception. They each wish to portray the other as the antagonist. They dodge responsibility more when the tale is messy. And let's be honest, both of them have dirt on their hands, and they are only fabricating a story to play the victim so that the internet can choose sides.
But y'all know how it is with these. They could do mad shit to you all day, every day, year after year, decade after decade. But the second you do something to them, the second you say, I'm done, I'm finished, all hell breaks loose. The moment that he knew his job at TuneCore was solidified via that over there, play with me. That's why he was mad that I never posted it, because he doesn't get a check from TuneCore. He was getting a percentage of the subscriptions, and he wanted me to post to my 11 million followers to subscribe to TuneCore. And I told him, tell the TuneCore to post it on page.
But have faith that nobody in this circus is innocent. Its entire circumstance. It's almost comical how disorganized it is. It's unbelievable how petty Remy and Papeos are. They pretend to have moved on. However, they still harbor sentiments in their hearts. And that's precisely why this mayhem continues happening. Clarissa's daughter, I'm telling you to run again. However, let's face it, she isn't leaving. She is supporting Papoose, which implies that she is agreeing to all of this drama. Remy was among them. What are your thoughts on this constant back and forth over who is at fault or whether they are both simply acting irrationally? Leave a comment with your opinions so we can discuss it. If you enjoy authentic, unfiltered tea, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Additionally, remember to ring that bell so you don't miss any scandals. I'll see you all at the next one.